Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So this is 18th chapter, the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So actually it is the summary of all which Krishna has told throughout the 17 chapters. Okay, so just like a summary, but Krishna will emphasize the important points in this chapter. Okay, so let's start the chapter. The perfection of renunciation. Okay, so if you remember, the third chapter started with the same question: what is better? Renunciation is better or action is better? Okay, so that was after Krishna explains the Sankhya Yoga philosophy, the identity of soul and the body. Okay, the difference between the soul and the body. The third chapter, the second chapter is called summary. Okay, so after summary in the second chapter, that is summary of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so after summary, Arjuna start inquiring. Okay, the first question which Arjuna asked was this: what is better? Which is better? The renunciation is better or action is better? Okay, so what is the renunciation? What is the action? Okay, so from there the karma yoga started. The action, the karma yoga started. Okay, so the first question was about the renunciation. So this 18th chapter is also starting with the renunciation. Okay, so let's start. This is the first sloka. Arjuna is asking question. Okay, about the renunciation. Yes, Mataji, you wanted to read? Prabina Mataji, you can unmute.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamikshami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha prithak keshini shudana.
Kesi Nisudana. Okay, the demon Kesi. So you can see the demon Kesi is there. Krishna is the killer of the demon Kesi. Okay, very. If you read Krishna book, the Kesi, how Krishna killed the Kesi. Okay, it is very nicely described. Okay, so Krishna is called Kesi Nisudana. Okay, so the killer of the demon Kesi. The doubts which is arising in the heart of Arjuna is also like a demon. Okay, like a darkness. So he's asking Krishna to solve it. That's why he's telling Krishna it's Kesini Sudana. Okay. Arjuna said, oh mighty arm one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation and of the renounce order of life. O killer of Kesi demon, master of the senses. So two questions Krishna Arjuna is asking. I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, that is Tyaga, purpose of renunciation, and of renounce order of life, that is sannyasa. So the purpose of renunciation and the renounce order of life, that is sannyasa. So Now we have finished all the 18th chapter. Basic question. Okay. Can a grihastha be a sannyasi? What is the renunciation? Can you tell me what is renunciation? What is true renunciation, which Krishna described throughout the chapter, throughout the 18th chapter? What is called the true renunciation? Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, could we say renunciation of fruits of whatever we do?
Yes. So renunciation, generally people think that renouncing the work itself is called renunciation. Okay, but Krishna says true renunciation is renouncing the fruits of action. Okay, renunciation is very difficult if a person is not pure hearted. Okay, first criteria for renunciation is to be pure hearted. That's why there are different stages, and at last sannyasa stage of life is there. Okay, so first three stages is for purification, and when a person is purified, he can renounce. Okay, so at last he is renouncing the work also. Okay, the material work he has renounced. So in the last stage, renounce order of life, he has renounced all those things. Okay, the first thing is for renunciation, purification is must, and the for purification, earlier stages of life, earlier stages are there, and when we pass through the earlier stages, we purify ourselves. Okay, so now Krishna is answering first Arjuna's question: what is tyaga and what is the renounce order of life? That is sannyasa. Now Krishna is answering. Yes, Mataji.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Samnyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha.
So now Krishna started answering to give us the result of all activities called renunciation. Okay, so activity is there. Okay, but the result we are giving to Krishna, that is called renunciation or tyaga. Okay, so tyaga, renunciation means giving up the result of activities. Mataji has said correctly. Okay, so to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation. Okay, by the wise, and that state is called the renounce order of life. So there the renunciation stage of life is there. Okay, so four order of life is there. Okay, so first order is called the brahmacharya, then the second is grihastha, then third is the vanaprastha, and fourth is the sannyasa. So sannyasa is the renounce order of life. Okay, and that state, that order of life is called sannyasa, where the uh, person is not working anymore. Okay, not working anymore means doesn't it doesn't mean that he's not doing the spiritual activity. Spiritual work he is still doing. Okay, but the material work he is not doing. Okay, so two things are there. One is the renunciation, one is the sannyasa. Renunciation means both work we are doing, either material or the spiritual. Both work we are doing, but the results we are giving to Krishna, that is called renunciation. But the sannyasa, we are only doing the spiritual work. Material work we are avoiding. Okay, so that is called renounce order of life, that is sannyasa. Okay, now Krishna tells, some learned man declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up, but there are yet some other sages who maintain that act of sacrifices, clarity, and penance should never be abandoned. Okay, so so different types. If you read Veda is also for some Veda are also for the people who are in the mode of ignorance, then some are in the mode of passion, then some are for the mode of goodness. Okay, and the different types of the Vedas are there for the different kinds of people to elevate. Okay, some learned man are there who thinks that all kinds of fruitive acts should be given up. Okay, but there are yet some other sages who maintain that act of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Okay, actually, these are for purification. Sacrifice, charity, penance. These are for purification. Okay, and some people are there who think that all activities should be abandoned, but some people think that the act which is for self purification, like sacrifice, charity, penance, should never be abandoned. So different types of people, different type thinking, like some people in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, for them different types of activity. So like this, it is there. Okay.
Shall I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yagyadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam.
So now Krishna is clarifying it. The acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Why this should be performed? Because this lead to purification. Okay. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Okay. So these acts are for purification. So these acts should not be abandoned by anyone. Okay. These acts should be done with by the every person. Okay. So act of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, the sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So these actions should never be abandoned. Okay, it should be performed even by the great souls.
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्.
All these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. So the sacrifice, penance, anything we are doing, if it is done for us, for ourselves, then that is not in the mode of goodness. Okay. When it is done, when it is done without the expectation of result, then that is in the mode of goodness. Okay. So Krishna says all these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. This is my final opinion. Okay, so it is said that all these activities, the sacrifice, the penance, should be done without the expectation of result. Okay, like in the chapter number 17 we have read. Okay, these acts, about this act, that these acts should be done in the mode of goodness. Then how these acts are in the mode of passion, then ignorance. So this chapter number 17 was like that. Okay, so but Krishna said all these acts should be done in the mode of goodness, that it should be done without any expectation of result. Okay, as a matter of duty. Yes.
नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्तामसः परिकीर्तितः.
But renouncing also comes in the three modes. Okay, renunciation also is divided in the three modes. So what are those three modes? Now Krishna will describe. So Arjuna asked this chapter by asking about the renunciation. What is the goal of renunciation? What is tyaga? And then he asked what is the order of life of tyaga, that is what is the order of life for renunciation. Okay, that is the sannyasa. Okay, so that Arjuna asked. Now Krishna is telling about the three types. The renunciation is also in the three types, three modes. Renunciation can also be in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, so now Krishna is describing the renunciation. Prescribed duty should not be renounced. Okay, so whatever prescribed duty we have, we should not renounce without purification. If one give up his prescribed duty because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So renunciation, if a person is leaving his prescribed duty, he's giving up his prescribed duty just due to illusion. Okay. That is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So it should not be like Prabhupada writes in the purport that a person who is a sannyasi, okay, who is sannyasi, who has nothing to do with the material activity, but still he encouraged the followers, his followers, to do the marriage ceremony. Marriage ceremony is also just like a yajna, sacrifice. Okay, for his grace the people, he encouraged them to take the marriage ceremony. Okay, marriage ceremony he's allowing them. Okay, and he is even participating in those activities. Okay, so he's not, it is not that he's leaving all those activities. So Prabhupada said these activities, if he's leaving also, then also that is in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so prescribed duty should not never be renounced if one's give up his prescribed duty because of illusion, because he doesn't know what is good, what is bad, and he is doing only bad activity. That is in the mode of illusion. Okay, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. He is not knowing only. Okay. Second, anyone who gives up the prescribed duty as a troublesome or out of fear of bodily comfort is said to have renounced the mode of passion. Such action never lead to elevation of renunciation. So some people are there who take renunciation, who leave the activity, who leave his prescribed activity just out of bodily fear. Okay, they fear that they fear about the activity. Okay, so some people are like. If a grihastha is there, okay, and he doesn't like to work and earn money for himself, for his family member, and he is taking renunciation, okay, there is no love for Krishna. He doesn't like to work for the body, for the family. He is too irritated with the family. He's saying, my wife is too irritating, my family members are too irritating, I do not want to live in this family life, I want to renounce myself, I just want to live in the temple. Okay, and he's going to temple, he's telling to the temple president, I want to take sannyasa. Why you want to take sannyasa? Temple president is asking, because I'm too fed up with the family life. I don't want to live this family life. I'm fed up with my wife. I'm fed up with my children. I am fed up with my parents. I don't want to live that. That life is too irritating. That's why I don't want to live that life. I don't want to earn money. I don't want to. I just want bodily comfort. Okay, like this he's thinking. Okay, and he's leaving his prescribed duty, and that is called in the mode of passion. Okay, because of troublesome, out of fear of bodily comfort, discomfort, he is leaving the activity. Okay, so that is called in the mode of passion. If you are leaving the activity due to bodily discomfort, that is called mode of in the mode of passion. Okay, so such action never lead to elevation of renunciation. So one is the mode of ignorance, one is in the mode of passion. Okay, third, but he who performs his prescribed duty, so prescribed duty we are doing, but because it ought to be done, and renounces all attachment to the fruits, his renunciation is of the nature of goodness, Arjuna. So now Krishna is describing third type of renunciation, that is renunciation which is in the mode of goodness. Okay, so just a summary: prescribed duty we are not performing. Why we are not performing? Out of illusion. Then that is called renunciation in the mode of ignorance. Okay, prescribed duty we are not performing out of illusion. Second type, prescribed duty we are not performing due to bodily discomfort, difficulties, and difficult duty. Duties are too difficult, and we are fearing the duties, and that's why we are not doing the prescribed duty. That is called in the mode of passion. No love of Krishna. They are leaving the duty. They are joining the temple, but no love for Krishna. Just they are fearful of the bodily duty. Third type, they are doing the prescribed duty, but how they are doing as a duty, as a matter of duty. Okay, then that is in the mode of goodness. They are not expecting any result, so that is called in the mode of goodness. Okay, they are doing just as a duty, not for any result. So three types of duties are there. Three types of renunciation is there: mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Okay, so perfection of renunciation, symptoms of proper renunciation. What is the intelligent renunciation? One who is in the mode of goodness, that is, he is renouncing and doing his activity just a matter of duty and is not expecting any result. Neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to the auspicious work. Okay, so he is not hateful to the inauspicious work, or nor attached to the. So any work he is not attached actually. Okay, one does not hate anyone or anything that troubles his body. Work in proper place at proper time without fearing the troublesome effect. Okay, so is not concerned. If you see, when you read about the modes in chapter number 14, it is very prominent that the person who is in the mode of passion, they are not so worried about the bodily comfort. Okay, they are not so worried about the bodily comfort, but what they want something return, some result, and the illusion the person who is in illusion, they want only bodily comfort only. Okay, the bodily comfort. But one person who is in the mode of goodness, they want to try to shift themselves from the this bodily comfort. Okay, they want to have the understanding of soul level. Okay, that is the truth. Neither hateful or to the inauspicious or auspicious. So both activity, auspicious, inauspicious, is not attached, has no doubt about the work. Okay, so prescribed duty he is doing, but he is doing for Krishna, and that is called in the mode of goodness, and that is called intelligent renouncement. Okay. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to the auspicious work, has no doubt about his work. Okay. For one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, the threefolds are, what are the fruits of action? Desirable action, undesirable action, and mixed action. The threefold of action. So one who is not renounced, he is doing the activity, occur after that. But those who are in the renounced order of life has no such result to suffer or enjoy. Okay. So the person who is doing the activity for himself. Okay. So after action, there is reaction. If he is doing good, there is punya reaction. If he is doing bad work, then he is getting the papa reaction. Okay. So punya reaction, papa reaction he is getting if he is not doing for Krishna. If he is doing it for himself, okay, then reactions will be there. But if a person is in renounce order, he is doing all the activity, but he is doing it for Krishna. So all the activity he's doing is that is spiritual. So result is also spiritual. So there is no boundness. Okay. So but those you can see here, but those who are in the renounce order of life has no such results to suffer or enjoy, because all the results are spiritual. Okay. Summary of chapters 13 to 17, that is Jnana section. Okay. So first section was the Karma Yoga section. You can see all those things: renunciation, karma, how the karma should be done, what karma should be done, renounce order of life. Those were for the part of Karma Yoga section. Now the chapter number 13 to 17. First 6 chapter was Karma Yoga. Now second part, middle part is not. Okay, it is chapter number 13 to 17. That is Jnana section. Okay. Now, section B, that is Jnana section, the conclusion of this section, the conclusion of Sankhya and Vedanta actions directed by the super soul brings freedom from the reaction. So, this Jnana section, okay, what in this Jnana section is described that what are the workers, what are the factors who is working, okay, for any work. So Krishna cites Vedanta and analyzes the activity as comprised of the 5 factors. This is to help us perform activity without being bound. Okay, so it is not like that we are only worker. So Krishna will be described that we are not only worker. There are other things also, other factors also which are helping us for performing any activity. Most prominent of this factor is the super soul. Okay, so out of 5 factors, one is the super soul, one is soul, one is super soul, other 3 are related to the material nature. Okay, so these 5 factors Krishna will describe, and the most prominent is the super soul. Acting under the super soul direction, one is unaffected by the reactions of his action. Okay, so if we act according to the super soul, then we are not affected by the reaction of that work. Okay, that means that we are doing the spiritual activity for working under the guidance of super soul. So let's read the sloka. Let's go through the chapter what Krishna is saying about the 5 factors. Okay, let's understand. O mighty Arjuna, learn from me of the 5 factors which bring about the accomplishment of all action. Okay, so first Krishna described about the action. Now he's saying how these actions should, what are the things what are the factors which is bringing out this work. Okay, so all actions. So these are declared in the Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action, the performer, the senses, the endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. Okay, super soul is there, one. Okay, ultimately the super soul, then the one soul is there. Okay, then the endeavor, activity is endeavor, then the senses, the instrument of action, Senses are the instrument of action. Place of action is the body. So the performer is the soul, and the super soul is there. So two things are there: performer and the super soul, soul and the super soul. There's three. Place of action is the body. Field of activity is called, that is called field of activity is the body, and the senses are called the instrument for the action, and the endeavor for the endeavor we are doing. Okay, so these are the five factors. So this is the place, like the body. Okay, the worker is there, performer is there, then the instrument, okay, how this to be done, and the endeavor, instrument and endeavor. Okay, and comes the super soul. So the field is there where all activity to be performed, and in the field two things are there: super soul and soul. These two are there, and some are the other two are the endeavor and the senses. Okay, endeavor and the senses. Yes, Mataji. 15, 16.
शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः.
Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, and speech is caused by all these five factors. So five factors are responsible for all the work a person is doing. Yes, Mataji. 18.60.
तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु हय पश्यत्यकृत् बुद्धित्वान् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः.
Okay. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see the things as they are. Okay. So five factors are there. And if a person he thinks, if a wise person is there, a wise man is there, okay. So he will understand this factor, all this work is not only done by me. There are five factors are there. But a person who is not wise, who is not intelligent, he will think only himself, only him as the doer. Okay. so so either both the right or wrong action is performed by the body, mind, and speech. So what are the five? So what are the five things which is performed? These five causes cooperatively perform every action. So these five things are there, which is performing the every action. So first is the super soul. Most prominent is the super soul. Okay, all our activity depends on hill, wind, and sanction. So our soul desires. Okay, soul desires, super soul sanction. That is what it is. So the first is the super soul, then second is the soul. The soul is the desirer. Okay, he is desiring, and the super soul is there. So first soul is desiring, and super soul, what super soul is doing? Super soul is permitting that, he is sanctioning the desire based on the karma what we have done previously, and based on the desire which we are performing. Okay, so desire and based on the desire and based on our past karma, the super soul will sanction whatever desire we are having. Okay, but who will carry out the desire? Who will carry out the desire? The material nature. Material nature will carry out the desire. What are the parts of material nature which is carrying out the desire? These are the three parts of material nature who will be carrying out the desire. So mainly three factors are there: super soul, soul, and the material nature. Okay, now in chapter number 18, Krishna is even describing even parting out the nature part. Okay, so he's saying one is super soul is there, and one worker is there. The soul is there, the doer is there, the desirer is there, and the super soul is the sanctioner. Okay, so and the three other things are the endeavors of the effort. Who is doing the endeavor of the effort? And the senses are called instrument of action. Okay, and the place of action, that is body. So their activities are there, any activity is there, it should be performed by some place, and that place is called the body. Place of action is called the body. Okay, so every activity for the material person is to be done in the body. So place of action is the body, and instrument of action is the senses. Senses are an instrument of action, and the endeavor or effort are the third factor for the nature. So these are the part of the nature. Okay, Super soul, soul, and the nature. Nature is still divided in the body, senses, and the individual. Okay, so everything which is done by a person is done by these five factors. Okay, and the activity can be irreligious or religious. So wrong action is the irreligious thing, work done against the principle of scriptural injunction. Okay, so even a person, even a soul is desiring for the irreligious activity, also super soul sanctions based on his desire. Okay, right action or the religious action, that is called work done in terms of prescribed spiritual directions. Okay, scriptural direction against the scriptural direction, it is called irreligious. With the scriptural work done as prescribed by the scriptures, it's called the religious work. Okay, so irreligious work, religious work. Okay, so religious activity, irreligious activity, this slide we have finished. So this chapter is just like summary what we have done. Okay, so section A we have read about the karma yoga, then section B we were learning about the Jnana Yoga, about the activity, how the activity should be performed, what are the workers of the activity, how the work is being carried out. Okay, so now the section C. Okay, section C. Okay, now the section C, summary of yoga ladder. So whatever portion we are able to finish, because this is large chapter, chapter number 18 is large chapter. So whatever portion we are able to finish today, we'll finish today. Later, whatever left, we'll do tomorrow. Okay. So till tomorrow, we'll finish all the the sloka of 18 chapter. Yes, is my voice clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So let's move. So this is section number C. So now the summary of yoga ladder. So Krishna described yoga ladder in the earlier chapter, that is karma yoga, then from the karma yoga to the jnana yoga, then jnana yoga, then the bhakti yoga. Three yogas mainly Krishna describes. Okay, so we'll see about these yogas. Okay, and how these yogas are affected by the modes of nature. Okay, so first section, summary of yoga ladder, 18.19 to the 66. Okay. So most of the things are covered in section number C. Okay, the thing will be covered in that. You can see 19 to 40 slokas are dedicated to the karma, which are under the modes that control the activity. Okay, so description of mode will be there in this part. Okay, so let's see what is there in 19.40. That is the modes control all the activity. So mainly we'll be describing the three modes of material nature which is controlling all the activity. One's work according to the five factors is dictated by the three modes of material nature. So every work is done. So if you see material nature is there, so every work which is done here, it is under the material nature. So under the material nature, it will be divided into the three modes, that is in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. So every work, whether it is any work it is there, okay, it will be divided. This includes one's knowledge, action, performance or action, understanding, determination, and happiness. So these things will be divided into the three modes. Okay. So these are the factors which determines, okay, the work. All activity within the universe are thus controlled by the three. So every activity which is done in the universe, every karma which is done in the universe, these factors are influencing those karma. Okay, knowledge, action, performance of action, understanding, determination, and happiness. All these are the factors which dictates the work which is done in this material nature. Okay, so every activity in this universe is divided into three modes. Okay, so let's read about these factors which determine the action. Okay, so these are the factors which is controlling every action. So if you can remember in the earlier classes, we used to say that this every work which is there, everything which is there in this material nature is will be under the control of the three mode, that is whether it is goodness, passion, ignorance. So now we'll read the factors which determine this all the action, so we can understand that how the every work is done into the three modes. Okay, so let's try to understand what is the three kinds of knowledge based on the material nature. So three natures, modes of nature are satuguna, rajaguna, tamoguna, or goodness, passion, ignorance. So let's read how the three kinds of knowledge. Okay, three kinds of knowledge. 3, 2, 1. First, that knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all existence, undivided in the divided is the knowledge in the mode of goodness. Okay, so a person sees that knowledge by using which a person sees that every person is equal, every living entity is equal, because he's seeing the inside of them. He is not seeing only the bodily difference. He is seeing the thing which is equal in all in them. Okay, so he is seeing that the atma is situated in every living entity, and that living entity with atma there is paramatma. So he is seeing what is equal in all the living entities. So that knowledge is called in the mode of goodness. Okay, so it is written that knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all existence. So he is seeing undivided spiritual nature, he is seeing what is equal in them, that is the paramatma and atma. Okay, undivided and divided is the knowledge in the mode of goodness. Okay, that is in the mode of goodness, when we see everything is equal. Okay, we are not seeing the only the outer difference. Okay, so Krishna tells the peace formula. If you read, if you remember in the earlier chapters, Krishna talks about the peace formula. Okay, how peace can be established in this world. Okay, so Prabhupada describes that peace can be established only if we see equal in on the living entity. Okay, can we see equal in the all living entity if we're seeing them materially? If we're seeing that one person is black, one person is a dark complexion, one person is a fair complexion, one person is a small height, one person is different height. Every person is different. Okay, every living entity is different. Okay, they have identity, some identity, the bodily identity, and that identity is every person is different. Okay, and when we see every person based on the outer bodily thing only, then we won't be able to appreciate the peace. Okay, we won't be able to bring out the peace. Okay, unless and until we see what is common in all the living entity, unless and until we are at that platform when we see that every living entity is common, and how the living entity is common, that which is in the mode of goodness, the knowledge, by using the knowledge which is in the mode of goodness, when we are seeing that person inside is equal, when we see that a person, every person is same, because every person has the soul and the super soul. Outer may be different, but when we are seeing the inside the person, then the real peace can happen in this world. Otherwise there won't be any peace. Whatever endeavor one person can done, whatever endeavor the government is doing, whatever endeavor any person is doing, there won't be any peace unless and until we are seeing at the level of at the, above the bodily level. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the peace formula. That knowledge by which a different type of living entity is seen to be dwelling in different bodies is knowledge in the mode of passion. So the person, we are in the mode of passion. So when we are in the mode of passion, we see that every living entity is different. Okay, every living entity is different. We are seeing the outer bodily thing. So there comes the difference. Okay, and that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. So one is the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and darkness. Darkness means, so the three levels are there. Okay, if you understand the three levels, every other which is coming, every subsequent the slokas, which is every subsequent the endeavor for the work will come, you will be able to understand if you understand this concept. So let's understand the important concept, what is the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. Okay, so the mode of goodness will take you above. Okay, mode of goodness will take you above. So what is there? It will take you above, but in the mode of passion you will be in the same level only, you will be running here and there. But the mode of ignorance will take you down. Okay, what is the meaning? Let's try to understand. When in the mode of goodness, person can be elevated in the spiritual life. Okay, in the mode of passion, person will be in the bodily life only, not elevation, not too much elevation, not too much degradation. So same, you can see like same only. Okay, but in the mode of ignorance, the thing which is not to be done only they are doing. Okay, so that is in the mode of ignorance, that is mode in the that is called in the mode of darkness. Like the food which we are reading in the last chapter, the food which is to be eaten and it is healthy for us, that is in the mode of goodness. The food, okay, which is eatable but not healthy, if you are eating that food, it will cause disease in you. Okay, so that food is not recommended to eat, that comes in the mode of passion. But ignorance, even which is not a food, okay, people are eating even which is not a food, so it's just opposite they're doing. That is called in the mode of ignorance, just like that only. So in the mode of goodness, we are seeing the world undivided, we are seeing the internal. In the mode of passion, we are seeing the externally. In the mode of darkness, okay, but is attached to the work which is not to be done only. So that knowledge is that knowledge, the knowledge which is in the mode of darkness, it is leading to that. Okay, now the three kinds of action. 1, 2, 3. First action. For the action, as far as action, that action in accordance with duty, which is performed without attachment, without love or hate, by one who has renounced fruitive results, it's called the action in the mode of goodness. Okay, so we already know um, what is the factors for the action in the mode of goodness. In accordance with the duty, performed without attachment, without love or hate, by one who has renounced fruitive results, means every action we are giving the results to the supreme. So that is called in the mode of goodness. Now the mode of passion, but action performed with a great effort by one seeking to gratify his desire, and which is enacted from a sense of false ego, is called action in the mode of passion. So in the mode of passion, how the people are working? They are working for to satisfy their senses. Too much greedy. Every action they are doing, they want something in the result for their body. Okay, they're not too much concerned about the bodily relief, bodily uh, comfort. They are working too much hard, like ash, morning, evening, every time, to just to satisfy the senses, just to gratify the senses, and they want something in the result. Too much greedy people. Okay, in the mode of passion, by the action performed with great effort, one seeking to gratify senses, to gratify desire, and which is enacted from a sense of false ego. False ego means, what is the sense of false ego? That we are a body. Okay, that is a sense of false ego. I am too much prestigious person. There is name, fame of mine in the society. Every person is loving me. Okay, these things. I am a very great person. These are called the false ego. Okay, what is true ego? True ego means we are um, we are not this body. We are the soul, and our position is not a proprietor's position. Our position is a humble position of servant of Krishna. That is our real position. That is called true ego. Okay, that is called true ego. So he is thinking himself of a body, himself to a body, and is working too hard just to gratify the senses. That action is called in the mode of passion, and that action performed in ignorance and delusion, without consideration of future bondage or consequences. Okay, So of ignorance, he is not knowing what is good, what is bad. And in this way, it is not like that he is not knowing that he's not doing any good activity or bad activity. He is doing the bad activity only. Yes, that is called in the mode of ignorance. Without consideration of future bondage or consequences, which inflicts injury and is impractical, is said to be action in the mode of ignorance. Okay, impractical, not to be doable. That action they are doing. Okay, that action is called in the mode of ignorance. Illusion, delusion. Okay, these words, ignorance, these words in the ignorance, mode of ignorance, tamoguna. Now the worker, three types of worker. The worker who is free from all material attachment and false ego, who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to success or failure, is a worker in the mode of goodness. So he's doing it full enthusiasm. Okay, enthusiasm, with full enthusiasm, with full determination, but he is not attached to the fruits. Okay, he is not attached to the success or failure of the, whether the work is successful or the failure. Just he is doing with full determination of faith the work which is given to him. Okay, so that is the worker of in the mode of goodness. But that worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor and who passionately wants to enjoy them, who is greedy, envious, and impure, and moved by the happiness and distress, is a worker in the mode of passion. Okay. Second type of worker who is in the mode of passion, Krishna describes that who is greedy, envious, and impure, and moved by the happiness and distress. Okay, in the mode of passion. And that worker who is always engaged in the work against the injunction of the scripture, who is materialist, abstinent, and that worker who is always engaged in the work against the injunction of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others.
Prabhuji, we can't hear you.
Okay, so three kinds of worker based on the material nature. So we were discussing this 18.26. The worker who is free from the all material attachments and false ego, who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to the success or failure, is a worker in the mode of goodness. Okay. Now the worker who is in the mode of passion. So this we have read. Now, but the worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor, But that worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor and who passionately wants to enjoy them, who is greedy, envious, and impure, and moved by the happiness and distress, is a worker in the mode of passion. Okay, so the worker who is in the mode of passion is passionately want to enjoy the senses, enjoy the fruits of his action. Okay, greedy, important word in the mode of passion. Greedy, you will find every time in the passion. Greedy, envious, impure, want something in the result. Okay, that is in the mode of passion. Okay, and that worker who is always engaged in the work against the injunction of scripture. Okay, so the person in the mode of goodness, they will do work according to the injunction of the scriptures. In the mode of passion, they won't know what is injunction, but they will do both things. They will be doing. Okay, that is in the mode of passion. But the mode of ignorance, they won't also know what is the injunction of the scripture, but they will do the thing which is always against the scripture. Okay, that is in the mode of ignorance. And that worker who is always engaged in the work against the injunction of scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, who is lazy, always morose and procrastinating, is a worker in the mode of ignorance. Okay, the wrong work he is doing mostly. So that is against the scripture's injunction. So that is in the mode of ignorance. Intelligence. So what is the three types of intelligence? O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done, what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating. That understanding is established in the mode of goodness. Okay, so that understanding, which that intelligence, which correctly tells a person that what is to be done, what is good to be done, what is not to be done. So that understanding is in the mode of goodness. And that understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious and irreligious. Okay. And what should be done and what not should be done. So in the mode of goodness, person knows what to be done, what is not to be done. That intelligence is there. But in the mode of passion, person cannot distinguish between the religious and irreligious thing. And he is doing how he's doing the thing. He's doing the thing just for this bodily pleasure, just to enjoy the senses. If that is there, that is in the mode of passion. Okay, and in the mode of ignorance, that understanding which consider irreligion to be the religion and religion to be the irreligion. So his opposite understanding is there in the ignorance. That what is to be considered to be religion, he is considering irreligion. What to be considered irreligion, he is considering a religion, and he is doing the only the irreligious activity only. Okay, so that is the thing. What is which is in the mode of ignorance. Mode of goodness, he is doing the right thing. Mode of passion, he doesn't know what is good, what is bad, but he is doing just for the enjoying the senses. So that is in the mode of passion. But in the ignorance, he doesn't know what is good, what is bad, but he is doing against the religion only, against the scriptures only. So that is called in the mode of ignorance. Okay, that is in the mode of ignorance. That is mode of tamoguna. Okay, wrong direction. So if you're working in always in the more wrong direction, in the darkness, that is in the mode of ignorance. Now the determination, three types of determination. O son of Pritha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained and steadfastness by yoga practice, and thus controls the mind, life, and the acts of the senses, is in the mode of goodness. The determination which is making you move in the path of the devotion, that is called in the mode of goodness. Okay, unbreakable, sustained, and steadfastness by yoga practice. Okay, but the passion and that determination by which one holds fast to the fruitive result of in the religion. Okay, so one is working and he is progressing in the material life. Okay, so if a person is working, he is with determination, and that determination is leading, progressing him in the mode of in the devotional life, that is called in the mode of goodness. If a person is working and is determined in his material life, that is that determination is called in the mode of passion. So, and that determination by which one holds fast to the fruitive results of in the religion, economic development, and self gratification is of nature of passion. Okay, and that determination which cannot go beyond the dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Such unintelligent determination is in the mode of darkness. Okay, so they are one is moving toward the spiritual life, one is moving toward the devotion, toward the material life, and one is even going in the animal life. They're like dreaming, fulfillment, lamentation, moroseness, illusion. These are the determination in the mode of darkness. Okay. Now the happiness. That happiness, which is beginning maybe just like a poison, but at the end, just like a nectar, and which awakens one to the self-realization, is said to be in the mode of goodness. Okay. That happiness, which is derived from the contact of the senses with their object, and which appears like nectar at the first, but poison at the end, is said to be the nature of passion. And that happiness which blinds to the self-realization, which is delusion from the beginning, and which arises from the sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So let's discuss happiness. Okay. So happiness is the thing which we are lamenting from the starting. Okay, from the birth only, happiness, happiness, happiness. Do this, you will get happiness. Do that, you will get happiness. Whatever things you will do, this thing you will do, you will get happiness. But still, we are searching for happiness in the material thing, because happiness is not there in the material thing. We are searching too hard. Where is happiness? Where is happiness? Where is happiness? That happiness is also in the three modes of material nature. So, what are the three modes of happiness in the three modes of material nature? Okay. First, happiness in the mode of goodness. Okay. So in that happiness, which seems very like a poison at the starting. Okay, that is not at all happiness in the beginning, but later it seems like very like a nectar. Okay, like amrit at the end. Okay, like religious practices, like devotional practices. Okay, in the starting it may be very difficult for a person to wake up in the morning and chant. Okay, but when a person is fixed in that, okay, it is very steady. Then a person progresses very nicely in this in the devotional life, and that is called, that is like a nectar at the later part. Okay, so the starting it may be very difficult. Okay, and but at the end it may be, sorry, Krishna. Okay, so the happiness which is in the starting like a poison, and at the end like a nectar, and which is for self realization. Okay, for self realization. So that is called the happiness in the mode of goodness. Okay, and for the mode of passion, the happiness which at the starting it look like very nice. Okay, very nice, like a amrit, but the end result is like a poison. Okay, that happiness is called in the mode of passion. Like people are very happy eating the junk food. Junk means kachra. Junk means the thing which is in the dustbin. Okay, junk food. People are very happy eating the junk food for the taste, for the time being, for just for a moment. People are happy because they are eating that is very tasty, very tasty, very tasty. Their thing. Okay, but the later that is degrading the health, that is causing many problem. Okay, so that is the happiness which is at the starting looks like very nice, but the end result is the wrong health, bad health. That happiness is causing bad health. Okay, so the starting appears like nectar, but end is poison. That happiness is called in the mode of passion, and it derives from the contact of sense object. Okay, so considerate about the sense enjoyment. Okay, so that happiness is called in the mode of passion. Okay, and that happiness which is starting only with the poison and ending also poison. Okay, start in the starting also poison, but ending also poison. Okay, that happiness is called mode of ignorance, and that happiness which is blind to self-realization. There is no self-realization, that which is beginning delusion from which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from the sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay, alcohol, drinking is not good. At the time of drinking also it is not good, later part also it is not good. Okay, so that is called in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so three types of happiness. People are very happy drinking, smoking, drinking. Okay, in the starting also it is poison, at the ending also it is poison. Okay, So that is called happiness in the nature of ignorance. So now 8:40. Yes, Mataji.
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः.
So there is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system, which is free from these three modes born of material nature. So this material nature is not ending in this earth. Okay, so in 14 planetary system, all are under material nature. All 14 planetary system are under material nature. So whatever demigods are there, whatever the higher beings are there, they are also under the modes of material nature. So no one is free from the three modes of material nature. Okay. So we'll stop here only. Okay. We'll section D will start from tomorrow. Most of the things we have read in the first chapter, first part. Some part we'll read in the section D. It is tomorrow, and we'll finish tomorrow this 18th chapter. Okay. And if you have not done the quizzes, you should finish the quizzes and finish the quizzes so that you can have the certificate and you can go to the level 3 of your pre-bhakti sastri course. So this is the pre-bhakti sastri course. So we can go to the pre-bhakti in the level number 3. Okay. And the that is and one is the food. Okay. So I'll just stop the